So it's not often that I tie meaty flies, because most of my stuff tends to be around the competition flies, so it's smaller flies. However, I do use big flies a lot, especially when it comes to the time of the year when the better fish are on the fry. And this one's been a firm favourite for a long time. I first fished this fly up in LEVIATHON 30? Can it be 30? No, 25 years ago. But I used to tie it with a brown wing or sometimes an actual rabbit. But I found for the Midlands reservoirs this grey mink, because there's so much roach in the water in bream, I just prefer this grey mink. So this is the one that I tend to fish. It's a big fly and a big hook, and it's just one of these ones that come the fry feeding time of year, you've got to give the fish what they want. Fishing small little flies like you normally would, just not got to cut the mustard. So you want something, a mouthful pretty much. That's what the fish want, so that's what we're going to tie. So I start off with a really big RX hook in the vise. You can use other hooks, I just like the long shank on this. It's just a little bit better for the bulkiness of this fly. So if I just get him in the vise there. And when I'm tying fry patterns, I've always got white thread. This is just a Uni 80. I'm just going to start by winding on behind the eye, creating a bed of thread. I'll leave a little bit of space at the front there, but I should have had everything to hand before I started. So I need this stuff chain bead. You can have it as big as small as you want. This is like 3mm. I just prefer it. I do like really big heavy bead chain eyes. It's they're no great when it comes to turning over. They tend to ping one way or the other because they're so heavy. So just small ones. So all I do is I come in and with some wire cutters I just snip my pair off, and then I attach these to the, I give myself a little bit of space. See, I'll give myself a little bit of space at the front of the hook shank, and if you just go over the right eye and then over the left eye, or forward and back obviously because of the weight is in the hook. So eye nearest me, eye furthest away, and what it does is it just straightens it up, and then to lock everything in place, just some figure 8 wraps like so. And now we'll come down the hook. It doesn't have to be touching turns, not being too fussy, to the end of the hook shank. And I'll put a decent bed on at the end of the hook shank because I'm going to put my mink there. So my favourite mink's this silver. It's quite short in the fibre. I really like it. It works really well for my mink patterns. And what you want is a nice straight part. You don't want any kinks because it just looks, a bit weird in the actual tie-in. So all the mink has to be going the right way. So I'm just looking for a bit on the strip. So all that's going the right way. No kinks or grooves or anything. And then what I'll do is I separate the hair from the skin. What I would suggest here is don't wet your fingers. I see a lot of guys wet their fingers to part the fur. Now what that does is it creates a wet spot on the skin and it never really dries. So what happens is it ends up oxidizing the hook. That's what I've found anyway. Now what I always do is I come around the bit that I've tied in and just have a couple of wraps. It just keeps everything straight. So take everything out of the way there, and then in with a decent medium wire. This is red wire, just prefer the red, and I catch it on my side of on your side of the hook shank, coming down. Like so. And now we've got this stuff, colister dubbing in pearl. It's quite long in the fibre. It's like cut down winging material really. and then just rub that on. You don't want this too thick because the bulk really is going to be created by the feather that I'm going to use. So as you can see, quite a thin dubbing rope there. So come up, covering the red wire, a little tiny touch more. Just a really good flight of fish this as well, when it tends to catch the bigger boys, rainbows and brownies. So I've just stopped a little bit at the head there. You can at this stage pull all the materials out, however I prefer to do that once I've got the hackle on, but I'll just show you. I'll give it a little pull and you can see how long the fibres are on this. They're really quite long. You can see there when I pull them out just how long they are. Longer than normal. So I've now got this really big saddle, grizzle saddle, when we're looking for bulk, so quite a big feather. Sadly I've pulled off two there. So there you go. It's probably going to be at least the depth of the hook, to the barb of the hook. If I do that and split, you can see. Trim away the fluff, and then just catch that, and I catch it on my side of the hook shank. A couple of strong thread drops. You can get away with that with 6/0 thread, 8/0 thread. Come in and trim the waist. So now all we're going to do is we're going to come round a couple of times at the head for the bulk, and then work my way down the body, even spacing with the grizzle. And then when you're at your locking in point with your wire, just come over and lock in, and then up through the grizzle, evenly spaced wraps. Easier said than done, Stephen. And then just try not to get too many fibres trapped, and just catch it in behind the eyes. Pull the grizzle fibres out of the way and catch them in. Now just take your wire here and give him a wee twizzle till he comes off, and then bring your thread forward to our tying off point. Just with your tag end grizzle, just pull that and it'll come away. So here I give it a little bit of velcro, pull some of the fibres out into that hackle. Don't be shy, it's got a big heavy rib in there, and you can see the fibres coming right up and through the hackle. So now it's just a case of bringing the Ming strip up and over the body. So to do this, what I do is my thumb and forefinger, I pull the fibres down and I create myself some space on the back. Yeah, just like that. Create some space. So I've got my space now. I know I can pull this hackle up and through without trapping any of the fibres, like so. Try and get the skin. So you can see I've took some of the hair away there so I can catch the skin. Keep everything nice and straight. And now just in with your scissors at an angle and trim the skin and any stray fibres. And then with controlled thread wraps, just build up the head. Nice strong thread there. Build up that head. Just nice and neat. Try not to catch any of the mink in there, Stephen. There it is. And then just in, whip finish, and that's your fly. A real heavy duty mouthful for any fry feeding fish. I just find that grizzle, the bar of the grizzle works really well. It tends to cover perch and roach, but really this is a roach and bream fry pattern, but one that works really well for me. The final little piece of the puzzle, or just to finish off the flies, just a little bit of varnish. Give it a nice solid finish. And there you go. That's my fry pattern, my grey mink fry pattern.